Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM, and in today's video we are having a quick look at what is coming up in the soon-to-be-released Vredo pack. This next DLC is coming to us on Tuesday the 24th of March, and it can be purchased as a standalone DLC, or it does also come as part of the Year 2 Season Pass. So of course, if you are considering trying out this DLC, please consider using my Giants Partner promo code if you like the idea of supporting the channel. So, let's get right into it and see what comes in this pack and what new features it brings to the game. The new DLC welcomes a new brand to farming simulator, Dutch manufacturer Vredo, a specialist in overseeding and slurry injection. It also sees the return of Agro with their Toric 48672 slurry distributor. It also sees the introduction of a new Grassland care process to farming simulator called overseeding. Overseeding in its very basic terms is the practice of spreading or sowing grass seed over existing grass to either maintain or restore its original yield potential. Within the game, grassland damage is now a setting that can be toggled on or off. When it's on, grassland will be damaged over time and will require overseeding. When it's set to off, it won't. We also now have the addition of a new form of wildlife in the game. These are wild boars. Now, these aren't just for decoration. They can actually damage your crops. You can see me here chasing them out of a field. Again, much like the grassland damage, this is a setting that can be toggled on or off. You'll find this setting at the very bottom of the general settings menu. So, the pack introduces 12 new pieces of equipment. We have here the Vredo Profi Eco 6.0 and Profi Eco 7.5, obviously relating to their width. These are both slurry injectors and can be mounted to suitable slurry tankers or self-propelled slurry tankers. We then have the Vredo Profi 9, Profi 12 and Profi XL 18, again relating to their width. These again are slurry injectors and can be mounted to suitable slurry tankers or self-propelled slurry tankers. As I mentioned briefly before, we have the Evers Toric 48672. Now, this is actually again, it can be mounted to suitable slurry tankers or self-propelled slurry tankers. This is actually a disc cultivator and a slurry distributor. So you can actually cultivate your field and then increase the nitrogen levels using the slurry distributor, using this on the back of a suitable tanker or self-propelled slurry tanker. So that's a pretty cool bit of kit. Next on the list, we have the three from the DZ5 range of overseeding tools from Vredo. We have the DZ5 Agri 290, the Agri Air 290, and the Agri Twin 580. These all require a little bit more power to be mounted for your tractors. The DZ5, the smaller of the three, the DZ5 Agri 290 requires 90 horsepower, has a capacity of 290 litres of seeds. All these three variants you can either use them to seed grass or oilseed radish. The next one, the Agri Air 290, requires 100 horsepower with a capacity of 1,000 litres. Both these have a working width of 2.8 metres. And then the big one at the end, the Vredo DZ5 Agri Twin 580, requires 150 horsepower, has a capacity of 1,000 litres, and has a working width of 5.7 metres. So that's the bigger of the three. And then last on the list, we have the three self-propelled slurry tankers. We have the Vredo VT 4556 there, we have the 5536 there, and then at the very end we have the big lad, the 7138. Looking at briefly at the specs of these things, this has a capacity of 19,500 litres or cubic metres, weighing in at 18 tonnes. The 5536 has a capacity of 22,000 litres or 22 cubic metres, and last but not least, this one has a larger capacity again of 32,000 litres, 32 cubic metres, weighing in at 26.2 tonnes. Now, I've actually seen one of these in the flesh in real life, and as I've said many times before in various instances, the game does not produce the scale that this thing has, and some of the bigger equipment has in this game. This thing is colossal. It really is quite a thing to behold. So, anyway, that's a very brief overview of what the new DLC pack contains. So let's jump in now and have a bit of a look and see what overseeding is, shall we? Okay, so let's have a bit of a go at this overseeding, shall we? Now, I'm not going to claim to be any kind of an expert on the finer details of grassland care within Farming Simulator. I've mowed grass, I've done all that, baled and all, tedded and whatnot, but I've never really focused on the real fine details of the yield potentials, etc., etc. But understanding the very basics of what this thing does, one thing it does offer is efficiency, because up until now, Let's just pretend, for example, that this was our third cut. The field is in a cut state. We've got rid of it all. We picked it all up, etc., etc. But yeah, let's just pretend that this was our third cut, and we're now going to start seeing the yields drop off as we carry on going. What we'd ordinarily be left to do now would either be just to let this carry on growing until the next month, and then, you know, just carry on the process of cutting, etc., etc. But the yield is going to start dropping off, or we would have ordinarily had the option of utilizing something like this, the MaxiRoll 630 from Dolbo, that does also have the extra seed tank on the back. We would then run this in the field to reseed the grass. We could also run a normal seeder as well, of course, but this is particular to the Grassland Care section of Farming Simulator. We'd run this in the field, we'd get the new freshly drilled texture, and then we would be left with having to also run a field roller over the back of that once it's done, to get as much yield as we can from our new crop of grass. But what we have here is I've got on the back of the tractor here, we've got the Agri Twin 580, the larger of the 3 overseeders. So essentially, we've got the cut grass texture finish in the field here. So now what we can do is jump into the tractor, drop it down, turn it on, and get shifting forward. And as you'll see, we get a whole new texture left behind us. And I'm not going to do the whole field, of course. I'm just going to do this little section here. But if I come to a stop, there we go. And have a look out now. If we have a look at the information we've got in the precision farming in the bottom right hand corner, we don't get any information apart from the fact that its growth stage is currently harvested. But if we step into this new bit, we can see it is growing. The expected yield is 98%, with a yield potential up to 100%. Now this is because we are currently stood in a sandy loam area of the field, but over there we'll crack on here. I'm just going to work my way around the field so we can see the differences with the particular different types of soil that we have on this particular field. So you have to bear with me and forgive the not neatness of it all, essentially. But if we're going to crack on here, we're going to make our way into the loam section, center section of the field here. There we go. We've got a bit of loam, bit of a strip, and then we're going to make our way over to the silty clay as well. As you can see in front of us, I've got one of the base game slurry tankers with the Evers Agro bit of equipment on the back. I'm going to put that to a bit of a demonstration very shortly. But now that we've made our way over here into the silty clay, again, let's just come to a stop. We'll have a look. But in the silty clay, we've got the yield potentials of 89% at the minute, 23.6 tonnes per hectare. We get a bit of a sprint into the better of the 3 variants of soil that we have in the loam. There we go, right up to 125% there yield potential. Of course, at the minute, the expected yield is 116%. We haven't done anything with the lime. But you can see where I'm going with it. Essentially, instead of having to run a fresh coat of seed with a normal, seed drill, and replant the field and then go through the process of rolling it over, etc. afterwards, we don't need to do that with this. As you can see, there's no option to have to re-roll. It's growing again. If we jump into the map PDA and have a look at the growth menu, as you can see there, it's at a very young green growth stage. I don't think it's at the very, it might be at the very lightest, I'm not too sure. I always find it difficult to tell with the different shades of green there, but it's one of the earlier stages of growth. But as you can see, we've gone straight from a harvested state to a growth state, and yeah, that has saved us quite a bit of money when it comes to fuel and time, rolling over fields and such and all that. But yeah, it's really quite a cool feature and process that we've now got added into Farming Simulator as a result of the addition of these Vredo bits of a kit. Overseeding. Now, forgive me, like I said, I'm no expert in the finer details of Grassland Care, but overseeding is essentially the process of re-sowing or spreading grass seed over existing grass in order to bring back and maintain its full yield potential. And that is essentially what you need to do. When your grass is cut, you can run the overseeder and bring it back to another level of growth, the next level of growth, I suppose, and crack on with that. But you will keep and maintain and level out your yield potentials there in the field if grass is your main source on your farm. So yeah, very, very cool bit of kit, this one. Of course, the other two do exactly the same thing, but they just require less power. I just like cracking on with this one, with the bigger one, with the 5.7 meters. So yeah, that's pretty much that in a nutshell. Very briefly, again, forgive the, huge lack of detail, I suppose, but that's essentially the process and what's involved in it. Just overseeding on top of your existing grass. Right, let's put this Evers Agro bit of kit to the test now briefly, shall we? So like I did mention briefly before, it's a kind of disc cultivator and a slurry distributor in one. As you can see, it is fitted to the Kawiko Profi 220 here, one of the base game bits of kit. I think one thing I have mentioned when I was going through the bits of equipment that the pack contains, it can be fitted to a suitable slurry tanker or self-propelled slurry tanker, so you're not limited to having to use one of the big expensive Vredo self-propelled things there. They do obviously fit to the base game slurry tankers as the previous slurry dribble bars do as well. But yeah, like I say, this is a bit of a disc cultivator and a slurry distributor. So what you can do with this, we run a harvested field of wheat here. Obviously, if we just had a standard, what we've been used to so far, dribble bar, we could lift the nitrogen levels of this field using that, but it would stay in the same state, and then we'd be left to follow up with a cultivator or a direct drill or whatever to carry on the next crop in the field and do what we were going to do with it. But if we crank this up now, turn it on, let's power everything on now. There we go. Power that on. Drop that down. And now what we can do, if I bring up our little map overview in the corner there, as you'll see, we are now cultivating the field. We're emptying it of the harvested state of wheat. We are increasing the yield using the slurry in the tanker, but also cultivating as well, getting it ready for, I suppose, a bit of crop rotation, turning it into a different field of a different crop. And that is essentially what this thing does, and that's a pretty handy bit of kit, that, I must say. Really quite cool to be able to cultivate and increase the nitrogen level at the same time. Really awesome. And that's essentially this thing in a bit of a demo, and that's pretty much it, really. There's not much more to say. Right, before we jump into the shop and have a quick look at these things, where you can spec them up and whatnot, I thought I'd line the three of them up and just have a look at them in the flesh. But yeah, these are really, really big things. Again, the game doesn't do the scale too well, but they are. I mean, this is the smaller of the three, but it's still a pretty decent sized bit of a kit. This is the 4556, equipped with single tyres. It does look like it seems to come with like a tyre pressure system, but there doesn't seem to be anything in the menus when you go to it. But either way, maybe that's just for display purposes. But of course, we have got the variable tyre pressure mod that has recently been released. So either way, we can definitely take advantage of that and make use of that. But yeah, really awesome looking thing, beautifully modelled, of course, with it being a Giants model, incredibly well detailed. The 19500V, the smaller of the three. All three of these variants come with two different. You've got the usual tyre brands, of course, but you can equip them with single big chunky tyres, or you can equip them with twin narrows. This has got the Trelleborgs on here. This is the middle of the two, the VT 5536, equipped with the twin narrows. You do have a couple of variants of the pipes at the front here, but yeah, just slightly bigger again than the one we started with. And then we've got this big lad here, the 7138 triple axle. Absolutely massive. Like I said, I've been fortunate enough to see one of these things in person, and this does not do the scale justice. These are colossal in real life. They really are. But yeah, like I said, beautifully modelled bits of kit here from Giants. Really, really nice. But yeah, as you can see, this one in the flesh, cracking thing it really is. So let's just jump into the shop again and spec these things. Just have a look at the specs, because you can equip them with the Isaria equipment, of course, and the manure sensing and whatnot. But we'll go and have a look in the menus and just see how much they all cost, etc., etc. So see you there in a second. Okay, so price-wise, base, we'll have a look at the three. The smaller of the three comes in at £374,500, dollars or euros. The middle of the three at £425,000, and then the big lad at £549,000. But if we jump into the shop and just spec this one out. So, of course, you've got your standard brands, tyre-wise. You've got Trelleborgs, Vredesteins, BKTs, Mitas, and Michelins, back to Trelleborgs. And you can equip them with the narrow twin wheels and the standard size, the big chunkies, of course. You've got the slurry arm design at the front on the right-hand side of the cab. You can give it design 1 or design 2, and then design 3 with the blue corrugated pipe there. The most expensive being that blue corrugated pipe at an extra £3,000. Tank setup, you can give it the 32,000Z or the 32,000ZS. Now, I can only assume that the differences we've got here is just visual, but if we move just right up to the top, you can see it's got this kind of metal lid on it. There's the base 32,000Z there, just with the top of the yellow tank, and then you've got this one which does actually kind of unfold and expand. So I'll show you that in a few moments time. You can equip it with the Isaria Pro Compact at a cost of 14,950, and then you can equip it also with the manure sensing technology that detects the nitrogen in your manure for an extra 10,900. You can also change the color of the rims from yellow or black. Let's just have a look at the black there. I suppose that does look pretty cool, doesn't it? And that's pretty much it. 710 horsepower, of course. There's no engine options on this. It's just it is just what it is. But 710 horsepower is quite a thing, quite a beast. But yeah, cracking bit of kit. Right, so there we go, a brief overview of what's to come in the Vredo pack. Like I said at the beginning, this pack is released on the 24th of March, that's a Tuesday. It's downloadable and purchasable as a standalone DLC, or it does come part and parcel of the Year 2 Season Pass. So, if any of you are in the market or considering either of those options, please do consider using my Giants Partner promo code if you like the idea of supporting the channel. It does go a long way. It's a massive thing being part of the Giants Partner program. So yeah, if you're in the market for that and considering it, please do consider using my Giants Partner promo code there. Enter that code FARMERSIM at the checkout. Any help and support there, ladies and gentlemen, would be massively appreciated. So for now, for this video, I'm going to call it here. Obviously, like I say, we've got a little bit of time before this is released. I think about a week or so now. But yeah, I am personally very much looking forward to this one. It's I think it could be quite a popular one, this. So, like I say, for now, thanks very much for watching. I really do hope you have enjoyed the intro video to this. If you like the idea of supporting the channel, as I say, there is my Giants Partner promo code. There is also coffee.com if you'd like to buy me a coffee, and there is also my G-Portal affiliate link if any of you are in the market for an online server to play with your mates. As I said before, any help and support there, ladies and gentlemen, would be massively appreciated. So, thank you very much for your time again, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.